my guys were actually pretty crazy because they thought I was absolutely, since we're right here, they thought I was absolutely crazy to put zinc and copper rods all over the place. And this is a 700 million year old nautilus right here, and this is exactly how the galaxy looks.
Yeah. Oh. What is that called? It's in the palm of our hands. We multiplied out by 20.
This is the Fibonacci sequence, or they call
that's it. Fibonacci
golden mean
sequence. Yeah,
exactly.
The 20 and everything multiplied out 20 or 13 or 8 times.
Everything multiplies at 1.618 is this spiral. It's called the helical, conical, spherical, rotational movement, and everything follows this wormhole. So I have one going this way, and I got one on the other side going the other way.
Wonderful.
And these crystals are all, I mean, my guys thought I got all these, you know, from Brazil.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that would cost you a couple $100 just to put a little piece in there.
Yeah.
So I put about 40,000 pounds of crystals on the property. Again, where's the flies around here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay, where's the bugs?
No bugs.
Yeah,
no bugs. Only grid underneath and grid above.
Everything you see, these are all specialized rocks. Like I said, it takes a couple hours to go around your show, but this is called non-reactive granite. And granite is where you find gold, isn't it? Okay? And not only that, but what's all that white stuff? The white stuff is crystal. And if you wanted to amplify orgone, what would you do? Oh, crystals. Yeah. Amplify crystalline things. So you just try to find elements that actually expand, or I call accumulate the next ring, and then that ring has no choice but to make another ring because it fills up.
Just like electrons that we learned about in school, when they're in balance, they can go to the next ring, all the way out to the 8th. Continue to go out, match each other, going so as within, so as without, so as above, so as below. Every molecule doing exactly what it's designed to do. And optimize energy. That's the natural, our human state.
Exactly.
Living state is to optimize.
Is to grow. All the silicon-based beings, carbon-based beings, you've got crystalline-based beings and ammonia-based beings. And at this time, we're all, no matter what elemental kingdom, what kingdom you come from, everything's being stepped up. So we came from a carbon-based unification. We are wanting, if we really want to grow, we have to change our DNA to a crystalline-based system. That means we have to become a plant. And so then once we become a plant, we can actually gain solar radiation, versus a carbon-based thing really can't absorb anything but the energy that it eats. So we can absorb as you become crystalline, and this is the new idea. To become more human is to become more crystalline and not destroy really anything on the planet, because that would mean that you know that you're all one. Why would I destroy any child of my own? That my body has this architectural blueprint of everything we see is in our bodies. That's why they call us human. But we're really not
humanity.
Human yet.
Oh, and the oneness, really feeling it, just like you're talking about, how you are my mirror, I am your mirror, and so is everything that's living. And we have that part of our brain that gets activated through compassion, that takes us to the next step, and our compassion for all living things and generating energy. Plants don't need more than just the dirt, water, and sunlight.
That's right.
To grow, and we're similar, and we're growing even more in our ability to connect to one another through the internet. Those
Give you a hug, man. Listen to her. That's very hard to find another person that can speak this weirdness. It's called futurism, and you're from the future, and you're seeing a system that all of us in time will see, and who wants to jump to the next region actually is... You know, I mean, there's 10 years ago there was very few players, and I was sort of disappointed. But right now there's lots of people waking up, and none of us, as I say, we're authorities. We're all students.
We're all students.
Getting a little more enlightened.
How did you guys meet each other and plan this event that's coming up on 10-10-10?
It's a soul connection. From the very first conversation, it was, I think our first conversation we wound up talking for about 2 hours.
Wow.
And
it takes a lot to talk for 2 hours. You must have something in common.
Yeah, a lot to say. And then Robert was describing his land and his space, and with everything with 1010 and everything moving forward, keeps bringing it back to this space, bringing it back to as above, so below, connecting. It's just all roads are leading to this area, and the more we talk about this sacred land, the more we look around and see all the hieroglyphics and all of the things that you've placed, all of the crystal temples, the crystal altars around the water. It's ancient Hebrews built altars that the Native Americans here had built, and they were identical altars. There was no way they could have communicated that information, and that's part of this land. It's bringing out, and it's kind of speaking to you, and you're speaking to it, building all of the things to honor the energy that's here and to optimize it.
We're very grateful for you hosting the event for us.
Well,
Thank
you know what? This
so
place was
much.
made to be used, and it's used as a temple only when you can bring people that actually want to build this temple. Okay? Because the temple of the mind, as above, so below. You want to change the consciousness of this planet, then so shall the planet be changed. You can't give technology and all these things that would actually help us in abundance to people that have a consciousness that let it get this way. So our job, of course, is to just follow your heart, and following your heart is only because you have your heart chakra open that takes this mind, and all it can do is spit out what it actually sees, is to how do we get the mass consciousness to work as one. Unity consciousness is the big deal.
And I feel when you connect to yourself, when you allow yourself to be exactly who you are and how you are, and really start learning to listen to everything, all the different parts of your body, paying attention to your body, and then what you were talking about earlier, grounding, connecting with the earth, with your shoes off at certain times. In the early morning with sunrise, the way the energy is coming off the sun, and at sunset walking into it, taking in that energy, allowing for ourselves to reform completely.
We want to be crystalline based, then the sun right now is singing a different tune, and all we have to be is smart enough to be in tune with whatever the sun gives us. And the planet right now, as you can see, has more volcanoes, more hurricanes, more changes, earthquakes that are happening than ever in recorded history. We had 113 degrees in Moore Park, and I've been here 25 years. We've never had that. You have 13 volcanoes going off in the Caribbean. And it's just basically just little pressure zones that are equalizing. You got to sort of think, where I was, just on my 7-mile barefoot hike, we found a spot that was about 1,000 feet up. And this was way up. And there's 8 inches of all different crustaceans, and in this line where the mountain broke apart, and you can see where water used to be here before, and we were 1,000 feet up. So where we're actually heading in the future right now, nobody really knows, but we know we're all being stepped up if we like it or we don't. It's a system that actually is going to want to change us. If we're not ready for it, then it's going to be more turbulent, and that's why really I like to see people become more in nature, and you really change and see that nature is everything, you know, and the technological world is really sort of like a distraction a little bit, but it does have help as long as you know.
And being more ready with the meditation, with allowing yourself to be able to feel all parts of your body, connecting to the earth in the time of the dew on the ground, and also preparing yourself with foods, with the highest quality, vibrational, organic, living things that you're taking into your body, and allowing all of the metal, all of the deposits that are in here to be extracted out,
Or transformed. That's right.
Sarah, what have you seen today that is going to shape how you're going to do your event, or was it pretty much what you expected?
This is beyond what I expected. I had high expectations, but with the water fountains and the sacred, I'm very sensitive to energy. This is something that I've been working on since I was born, 3 years old, a young child, always guided back to understand the energy that's here, understand the energy that you're seeing. And so the energy here is optimal for the next
And it's
week.
all faiths and all.
All faiths
You see all
are
the
represented.
exactly. You notice that we have the Mayans, the Hopis, the Anastasies. We even have the alien symbols. We have Japanese, Korean. We have even the magical Om.
The Om is out there. There are some Greek symbols as well.
Babylonian, Sumerian,
yes.
Celtic.
That's very much what the 10-10-10 event is about. So that's
and the Hebrew symbol as well. We're having Native Americans. We're having shamans from Peru. Isabel Stoloff, Native American Mani.
And what better place can you go ahead and do is have everybody's
yogic,
invited.
Vedic
All
traditions being represented. The Hebrew and ancient Hebrew text that's going to be shared, as well as what is coming up in the moment. Feldenkrais from South Africa, a sacred geometry movement, again from Europe, being Joan Wolfson and Mariami with shaman essences. We're having Marian Glass, as well as Earth Shift. Earth Shift is a sponsor of this event that we're so grateful for. Can you talk a little bit about what Earth Shift offers?
You know, we talk about changing our tune, and our tune is modulated to our foods that we eat and the fluids that we ingest in our system. So if we knew that's the easiest thing to get started, if we wanted to get more consciousness, then we'd want to change our food intake to tunes that are high vibrational. So I know and you know that we become rainbow warriors. And rainbow warriors are not people that are fighting anything, but actually changing their ways. And changing your ways is really simple when you have a host of foods that really are all green, blue, indigo, and violet tune. Because everything's got a broadband. So you have a broadband like on your computer, you have some radio stations and so forth, and if you wanted to get into the higher tunes, then it's pretty simple. You eat and you drink tunes that would actually manipulate and transmutate your tune, because whatever you eat, you become.
The vibrational beings that we are.
You bet. Everything, even this piece of wood is vibrating, it's alive, because the term of alive is actually not what we really think. This is vibrating and it has a certain type of tune. And this tune is called resonance. And so once we find out if we absorb certain tunes and it lowers our tune, then we then get creatures that can live in that tune, which is sort of the opposite of what we're trying to become. We're trying to become more of ourselves than we ever have without any baggage. And the baggage I'm talking about is not the creatures that live in us, because we don't kill anything at Earth Shift. All we do is we change our tune, and then our bodies will command its performance by who can live inside you. So if you're sick and tired all the time, it only means to me that you have probably aluminum, cadmium, mercury, lead, arsenic, and different types of insecticides, pesticides, chemicals, plastics, and all we're going to do is we're going to stop them from coming in your body, and then we're going to start remineralizing this machine, because a lot of those creatures that actually took house up in those chemicals, because remember, the body's this resonant cavity. If you have all these chemicals, then your body vibrates down here, and then you get like an open door that says, come on in, creatures, and once they do, they start manipulating these creatures on how you eat, the way you feel. And, oh, you don't like to run? Or how about really what lives inside you doesn't like that motion because it's too aerobic, it's too high tuned?
Because they're anaerobic, or they do not like oxygen. Creatures that like oxygen, and exercising your body brings more oxygen in. And after 15 minutes of exercising anything, enzymes get activated that allow for detoxification to happen through your skin, or through your mouth, or through your feet.
That's right.
And
do you have any of your stuff over in the kitchen over here?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in there. Sure.
Yeah, let's go over there.
Sure. Well, actually, you know what? Since we're right here.